Rangers fans, do not fear. Philippe Clement is here, and he's here with the answers that all the fans need to be reassured that this season can still be a success. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Tonight was a night with Philippe Clement. He sits down, he answers your hard-hitting questions. The only catch is Rangers fans probably have to spend 10k on a ticket just to get there, just to sit in the presence of Philippe Clement and a £5 dinner. But either way, he's answering the Rangers fans' questions tonight, and his answers may surprise some people because he still believes that there is a title fight on this season.
Yeah, don't know why he believes that. I mean, I guess he's Rangers manager. I guess if he turned around and said, well, you know what, actually there isn't a title fight on, that would just add to the argument about why he shouldn't be here. But Ernie Engels came out earlier on today and said that, yeah, that's a good move. He actually came out and said that Clement turned around and said to him, that's a good move, mate, that's a good stepping stone. When should the Rangers manager turn around and say to the record Celtic signing, but you've made a good move there? He shouldn't even be speaking to him, man.
Yeah, he shouldn't be speaking to him. So we've got big Stevie Cool coming in with a lot of confidence straight off the bat there. Confidence, optimism. He's feeling it here. He's backing the manager. He's backing Clement all the way. So he's going to be here for the first.
All the way at the door.
He's going to be here for the first question. So basically, it's still ongoing right now, and if there's any more notes that come from it, we will try to add them here. But Clement walked on stage approximately at 20 to 9. He came out with a swagger on and a nice little suit and tie as well. Clement, he looks the part. You can't deny that. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, but at least he looks like somebody that could be sitting in the dugout, I think, in a Champions League final. He looks like a top-class manager now. He hasn't. Whether he can get there or not, we don't know. But he looks like the man. So the Rangers fans were sitting waiting, I believe, for about an hour and a half. Clement then finally came out, and I don't know if he was hiding or whatnot, but he made his appearance. And let's get into some of the questions. Actually, let's get into the first question. So Big Stevie Cool's got time for one of them. So let's go. First question. Do you feel the squad can mount a competitive challenge for the league? Don't know who asked it. And by the way, a lot of these questions just seem very timid. They feel like politically correct and tame, and there's there's no real hard-hitting questions. Like we did a video earlier with 5 questions, and we were expecting, well, not expecting, but we were asking questions like, why is the team so pish? And I think those questions have been filtered out tonight, so yeah, don't be expecting anything crazy to be getting asked. But this is what Clement replied to when asked if he believes that the team can still mount a challenge for the league. Clement said, quote, "Yeah, I'm convinced about that, or I wouldn't be here. Of course, it's a big rebuild, 16 players left. It was not also easy to have a good transfer window because 7 players left for 0 and had to be replaced by players that cost money. We had to cut the wages also, because it was not sustainable the way the wages were built the last couple of years in the squad." End of quote. So Clement says that he can win the title this season or else he wouldn't be here. But then he proceeded to basically, in my opinion, make some excuses about this being a big rebuild and that players left and they didn't get any money for them. And then he basically just kind of blamed the old administration, the old managers, on assembling a squad with a high wage bill. And maybe there's some truth to that with the whole Hadji thing after all. So, yeah, Clement saying that he believes he can win the league and then gave a bunch of reasons why he won't.
Maybe Clement believes he can win the league, right? And, last season he did turn it around for a short period of time, whatever, but he knows deep down he can't win the league. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend.
Well, that's a bit extreme. He can't win the league. He overturned a 7-point deficit last year.
Right, it's 5 points right now.
So he's got more time to turn it around.
Yeah, it was 7 points last year. What did it end up? 7 or 9 even? So
it's not 8.
Yeah, so it went from 7 to Rangers being 2 ahead, which is 9, and back to 8. That's a 17-point swing. Yo, I get it. If Clement turned around and said, "Oh, we've no chance of winning the league," then alright, definitely. What's the point of being here?
The half-eaten dinners would be getting chucked at him. The microwavable dinners would be getting thrown at the direction.
I'm just flabbergasted that this night even went ahead. Obviously we only know a few questions, right? So it's not like again they're filtered. Alright? It's like coffee when it's filtered through the wee grains. It's like, you're not getting the shite, you're getting the half decent coffee.
Yeah, I would imagine these questions have been approved before they got, before they got asked. Have you got time for one more?
I've got time for one more.
Alright, let's go. One more. So the next question was asked, what can you say to fans who are growing impatient for regular success to return? And that's a fair question because, let's be honest, Rangers... When was the last time Rangers had regular success? Now, considering they've only won 3 trophies in the past... Well, 3 trophies and what is it, since 2012 they won 3 so look, regular success, I mean, Rangers are having about as much regular success at the moment as St Johnstone are having, so that I think that's a fair question. It's been a long time since Rangers were successful on a regular basis.
Let's be fair though, right? Rangers are second best to Celtic right now, that's undeniable, right? I mean, we have to accept that, but even if we are second best to Celtic, is there any excuse in the world for having 3 trophies in the past 12 years? I don't think there is. If you're the second best team in the country over the course of 12 years, you would expect to pick up more than 3 trophies.
Well, did they not go a decade without a domestic cup?
Yeah, pretty much, but do you not agree what I mean?
And in that time, St Johnstone won a double?
Yeah, no, but do you not agree what I mean?
No, I do.
The second best team in any country should pick up more than 3 trophies in 12 years. It's just, Celtic have dominated, obviously, right? I mean, obviously got St Johnstone's double, Aberdeen, Inverness, other teams.
Not Hearts.
Yeah, not Hearts. Hibs, other teams winning trophies, but, obviously it's not going to be overturned overnight. I spoke about this the other day. It's like Rangers are not going to win a league title for the foreseeable future, in my opinion, right? I think people need to accept that, but there's no excuse for Rangers not to be able to win other trophies.
What is the foreseeable future? Like this year, next year, or are we talking multiple years?
Well, I think we're talking multiple years until the deficit and the financial gap gets made up.
Right. Well, there you go. Right.
But yeah, no, but I say financial gap gets made up, right? Obviously Celtic are ahead right now, but we've seen with Celtic, Rangers technically should have been ahead with the Ange first season, but Celtic just re-overtook them. There's no reason why Rangers can't have a good window and get close to Celtic, and because they've got a better manager, etc., overtake them, but reality is, Brendan Rodgers is doing a better job than Clement right now.
Well, let's see how Clement answered that question regarding fans growing impatient for regular success. He said, quote, everybody is working really hard for that, and they need to realise players coming into this club need time to adapt. There is nobody in the world that can predict how they will react. You have some players not only here but in the world who need 3 months, 6 months, some after a week adapt. It's a really personal thing you can't predict before. I'm very sure we brought in several really talented players who will grow and become better players the next couple of years.
It's a cookie cutter answer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the next Rangers fans don't want to hear that.
But look at Celtic, man. They signed Carter Vickers, they signed Kyogo, they signed Atati, Maida, Jota. They had the impact straight away. Rangers have made the signings before. I thought Kent made the impact straight away. Goldson slotted straight into the defence. The reality is, Rangers, they're a club that can't sit around, man. How long do Rangers fans want to wait before these players settle in? See Tierney, etc. There's no excuse for what happened at Parkhead the other week, or, when was it, 9 days ago? A lot of those players bottled it. Tierney scored the winner, man, for, I think it was Sparta Prague about 8 years ago against Celtic. What's the excuse for not turning up? There is no excuse. If you're good enough, you'll turn up. That is the reality. One player can turn up, but maybe not the other 10, but the 11 players on the pitch for Rangers didn't turn up. Not one of them you can make a case for. Look at Carter Vickers, man, the guy fit it like a glove. Not remember those Celtic in Ange's first season, they signed the 3 late signings, Jota, Carter Vickers, and I can't remember what the other one was, but Jesus Christ, man, they fit it like a glove, and that's what you need to happen.
Juranovic, was it?
I think it was Juranovic, but it's the same with Rangers. Goldson came in straight away, man, playing every match, got Europa League qualification, etc., etc.
Why not stop saying etc.?
No, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. Clement says
He's just making excuses, I get it.
I mean, he says that they'll become better over the next couple of years. I mean,
we don't have years. As Chris Boyd and all the other pundits say, you see as Rangers manager, you're not going to get years. I know he's in the 2028, but how long can we seriously wait? Say we wait to 2028, that's years away. That's what, 3 and a bit years away. Celtic will be on for 7 in a row.
Even if it does take the players a couple of years to get better, just because they get better doesn't necessarily mean they're going to start winning. So,
yeah, look at the gap. Yeah, you're right. Say they get better.
Celtic will get better.
That might mean they can win an Old Firm. Winning an Old Firm isn't good enough to win the league, by the way.
Well, I mean,
maybe last season it was.
If it takes Clement a couple of years to win an Old Firm, I don't think he'll be here. So
no, he won't be here, and I think that's where I'm going to walk out the door because.
Go and sleep it off, mate. It's chilled out. It's all right. Yeah. You might win you might beat Dundee United.
Might beat Dundee United, but a lot of people aren't confident about beating Dundee United.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, see, in the 3rd of August, we turned around and said that Dundee United and Dundee have got better wingers than Rangers, and a month later, over a month, do we agree with that?
Well, don't worry. Hearts will help you on Saturday when we take 3 points off Celtic.
Yeah, but that's the problem. See, last season when Celtic dropped points, I was buzzing, man. I was like, oh, aye, we'll be stuck straight in there. Say Hearts beat Celtic 7-0, which isn't going to happen, by the way. Does it really change? Does it change the outlook of the season?
Of course it does. First of all, it shows that Celtic aren't unbeatable, and you'll never know how a team will react to a loss. Sometimes teams can be looking really good when they're unbeaten, when they're on a good run, then all of a sudden there's one bad result in there and they fall apart. So of course Hearts beating Celtic 7-0 could change the outcome of the season, but I mean I think we could live another 100 lifetimes. I don't think we're going to see a 7-0 win. I think that 4-0 win for about 7 years ago, that's probably as good as it is going to get for Hearts defeating Celtic. But anyway, big Stevie Uncool there has left the building. I don't think he can't handle it. The heartache here for Rangers fans, it's tough. It is tough, but we must continue because Clement is still speaking. Now, regarding regular success, he did go on to say that Celtic have been in the building for longer. So, I mean, it just seems like more excuses, but this is what he had to say. Quote, I don't like to take out individuals, but a young lad like Connor Barron, who played in some of the games at Aberdeen, not all the games, he made already a big step forward and got a reward by also being selected for Scotland. Hefty is only 20 and already proving good things. It's about working hard with the team and make them gel to create connections. The other side of town have been building their squad for more than 1 year and playing together. It's normal that they are ahead now. I hate that and I want to change that as fast as possible. End of quote. So Clement then saying that Celtic have been building for longer and he hates the fact that they're ahead and he wants to change it. So, I mean, fair play there. He should hate it as a Rangers manager. He should hate it. And just the same for Brendan Rodgers. If Rangers were ahead of Celtic, if these guys aren't hating the fact they're behind, then you're in the wrong team. You're in the wrong city or the wrong country. Because I mean, like when it comes to the Old Firm, seconds nothing. Seconds last. So then he was asked, what are the most important skills for a leader to have? Clement said, quote, I think for sure intelligence. I've seen some players wanting to be leaders and they have the ability to speak to the group and have the personality not to be afraid in front of the group or in difficult moments. But if you say the wrong things, it doesn't help, so it's important to say the right words. A good leader is also somebody who can change his message depending on who he talks with. That's a massive one. Not many players have that quality also. Some people become better when you're on top of them all the time. Some need more support or something in between. It depends on the situation. A good leader in a group understands and feels that it does in a good way. It's very important for a manager to have a few of those types in your dressing room. End of quote. So, I mean, very boring question there. What are the most important skills for a leader to have? I mean, really? I mean, who cares? I mean, who gives a shit? You could ask anybody that. I don't think you need to ask Philippe Clement that. Yeah, just a really boring, throwaway question there. So, but Clement did answer it. Then he was asked, has there been any transition to Scottish football that's been more challenging than anticipated? Clement says, quote, to be honest, not really. There's not a big difference with the Belgian league. You also have a lot of teams playing with the low block and in transition towards the top teams. I think in Belgium you have more teams competing to win a title, but that's something to do with the formula they play. End of quote. So Clement saying that the leagues are pretty similar. However, one big difference in Belgium is that multiple teams, or at least more teams, can win a title than in Scotland. In Scotland, we know it's pretty much just two teams, Celtic and Rangers. In Belgium, you probably do have like 3, 4, 5 teams that can win the league title. So, I mean, I agree with that. Then he was asked, quote, how many windows until you have the squad you want, end of quote. Now, that's an important question because, I mean, realistically, it's hard to decide that. I mean, it's hard to know the answer to that. But this can tell you how long Clement believes he needs until he's ready to challenge or until he's ready to create the best Rangers team that he can. So Clement said the following to that, quote, I wish I had the answer to that and had this crystal ball. I know a lot of fans and young ones like to play the PlayStation, Football Manager and all those things, but in real life it is totally different. You cannot make any prediction about that because it's first about the finances you have yourself. I don't know that yet for January. It's about finding the right players and convincing them to come. It has to do with relationships with players and agents and other clubs also, if they want to let them go or not. It's impossible to predict that. All I can say is we will do it as fast as possible, but you don't have everything in your own hands, and that way you can only really work hard for that, end of quote. So Clement's saying this isn't like the PlayStation. It's not Football Manager. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Still Game there. I like the PlayStation. Do you like the PlayStation, Victor? You know, I mean, but anyway, he said it's not like the PlayStation, it's not like Football Manager. I mean, isn't it kind of the same in Football Manager when you take a team over, when you have a new team or you move to a team or whatever, you kind of know that, okay, this team needs work, this team needs reinforcements, I need to build this team, and you can kind of tell how many transfer windows I think you need. So I don't know why Clement decided to try and, you know, downplay the PlayStation there in Football Manager, when Football Manager is pretty realistic to real life, I would say. So, I mean, how many windows does Clement need? Well, how many windows has he had? He's had 2. He's had a January window, which I know a lot of people don't really count. It's a window, but it's not quite the summer window. I think you'd probably prefer 2 summer windows over a January transfer window, I believe. Oh wait, did I get that wrong? Yeah, you'd probably prefer a summer window over 2 January transfer windows, which I was trying to say. But I mean, yeah, he's had 2 windows, a January and a summer. By the end of the season, well, by the start of next season, he will have had 4. He will have had 2 of each. For me, that's enough. For me, you can't be talking about squads and transfer windows and whatnot. You look at Ange Postecoglou, his first season, he did really well. In the summer transfer window, brought in some big players, and then in the January transfer window, he topped it off with Maeda coming in, Hatate coming in, and that was essentially what got Celtic over the line, in my opinion. Those additions, would Celtic have won the league without Hatate, without Maeda? I mean, who knows? But within the space of 2 windows, he pretty much built a really good Celtic starting 11. So, I mean, I think 2 windows is enough. And Clement, so far, he's not done that, but he has lost a lot of players, like he touched upon. So, I mean, maybe it's going to take more windows because of the amount of players that have left, possibly. We will have to wait and see. And in terms of the questions, I mean, that really seems to be it. I believe that it might still be currently going on right now, but other than that, I don't see any other questions being asked here, and I mean, it looks like they're beginning to wind down. So, I mean, that is a night with Philippe Clement here. And he's answered questions, but I mean, it's not really hard-hitting questions. You know, it's been soft questions, so to speak. I mean, Boyd likes to talk about soft-boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs. I mean, these questions have been pretty soft, but I mean, what do you expect? Like, they were never going to sit Clement down in front of a rabid Rangers fan base and let the fans totally, you know, destroy him with all these hard-hitting questions. That was never going to happen. You know, so it is what it is. I imagine most of these have been approved and filtered before being asked anyway. So, yeah, but what I take from this is Clement thinks he needs more time. He says that Celtic have been building for longer. It's going to take him time to get a team that can challenge. But he does believe that he can mount a league challenge. Although he did say he can do it, and then he made a bunch of excuses as to why he can't do it. So who knows? But look, he's not going to come out and say, no, I've got no chance. The league's over. He's not going to say that after 4 games. I'm sure if Clement came out and he said, no, he can't mount a league challenge, Rangers fans would probably be calling for his head tomorrow morning. So he has to say he believes the league's on. Is it on? I mean, of course it is. I mean, it's only 5 points, but it's going to be. It's hard. It's hard to envision Rangers turning it around because they don't look good at all, and Celtic look pretty damn great. So I don't really see it happening. But I mean, who knows? Football's a funny thing. things can change quickly. But nah, I mean Rangers need to try and get into second place first, and then worry about challenging for a title. So yeah, there you go, guys. That was your answers. That was a night with Philippe Clement. We'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully, some more Scottish football news. Now that the domestic stuff is coming back, the international break done for a while, and good riddance. Because I'm sick of Scotland losing. So yeah, let's get back to domestic stuff, and I can watch Hearts lose every week. Fantastic. Anyway, that's it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.